Hey, house guests, welcome to today's Big Brother 22 updates and spoilers. Yay! Our house guests of the day are Migdalia Gonzalez and Isaac Benjamin Songquist. Thank you both so much for the support. We could not do this without you, and we appreciate it so, so much. So thank you again. And if you guys want to be house guests of the day, check out our Patreon link in the info box below. I'm here, guys. I'm here. Thank you all for being here. You're always on my asses that I'm late. But, honestly, I am more on time for these spoilers than, anything in the rest of my life. So I think we can handle 1 minute or 2 minutes of lateness, right? Please. But anyway, thank you all for being here. It's Friday. Yay. I want to thank all of our super chatters before we get going here. We've got Rachel McClung, Jefferson Tucker, Michelle Brazel, Christina Harper Black, Michelle Brazel again, Ali Parker 3, Vajrath, Laura G, Jody Cortez, Candy, Adley Bruges, Andy W, and the Baron 69. Thank you all so much. You guys are awesome, and we couldn't do this without you. And I see Jody Cortez already today. Thank you so much. And Jody says, BB tried to cut feeds during voting. Did you catch the BB star screen for a second? Yep. Wow, someone should be fired for being trigger happy. Go Bowie. So apparently, when that happened, according to Enzo, it was because Christmas made an obscene gesture in the hallway when she was passing him because she was pissed about Danny. And apparently it was like a up yours kind of gesture, like a I won't do it for real, but it was one of those. So I was confused about that at the time too, but then I saw Enzo was explaining that last night. So interesting. Okay, Christmas was very upset. And I thought for sure that this house was going to be dead today after that triple, but these people are keeping me busy. It's been a long day because these people who have been safe the entire game are now scrambling. And it's getting a little interesting. Thank you, Dawn, so much. Dawn MH302. Thank you. Happy Friday to you too. All right. Let's get started. Just a quick recap of last night. If you guys want all of my thoughts on yesterday's triple eviction, make sure you check out our recap of the episode because we had a lot of fun with it. But just a quick little run through of the nuts and bolts of the triple eviction. We went from 9 to 6. First, Kevin was voted out by a vote of 6-0. Memphis won HOH. He put up David and Nicole. Christmas won the power of veto. Did not use it. And then David was evicted by a vote of 3-2. Wow. So Tyler and Christmas really out there trying to do big things, and they were left out to dry by Enzo. Enzo, who was constantly talking about how they need to make big moves and he'll be so embarrassed if a champion wins again. Enzo not voting out Nicole when she is sitting there on a silver platter. I'm honestly not surprised though, because that's what we've seen from him all season. He's scared. He's a scaredy cat. All right. So after that, Tyler won HOH. He put up Danny and Nicole, and then Tyler won power of veto, and he did not use the veto. Danny was evicted by a vote of 4-0. So that means we are down to the final 6 now. We've got Cody, Enzo, Nicole, Tyler, Memphis, and Christmas. So the committee almost all made it to the final 6 intact, but you got to swap out Danny for Enzo, and that's it. So I want to know from you guys, who are you all rooting for now moving forward? I honestly don't know who to root for. I wanted to root for Enzo once Kevin and David were gone, but after he pulled that shit with the votes last night and had the opportunity to make a move again and didn't, that's a disappointment. Honestly, I said in last night's recap, I almost feel just rooting for Nicole to win because that's what these people deserve. But anyway, okay, so the feeds came back a little after 10 p.m. Big Brother time, and I'm just ooh, who won the next HOH? Because there was still another HOH competition to be played last night. So Tyler and Enzo, I'm going to give you the answer in a second, but Tyler and Enzo were chatting in the photo bedroom, and Tyler says, I just didn't want Nicole to win that next HOH because not only did he vote or like try to vote her out, but he also put her up on the block. So he's not on good terms with Nicole right now. And he's saying, like, I was just trying to get Danny out. I wasn't trying to, get rid of Nicole by putting her up on the block. So Enzo's like, all right, well, what are you so upset about, though? Like, what happened? And Tyler says, I feel like shit for voting differently than you and Cody. Because, again, he voted Nicole out, and Enzo and Cody voted David out. So Enzo's like, nah, whatever. Like, I just did what Memphis wanted. I don't want to ruffle any feathers. Could you be more lame? Could you be more lame? But Enzo says, Nicole's a champion. I understand it. I understand why you would vote her out. I'm just taking the easy route out. I'm going with Memphis, and that's it, yo. So boring. Okay. So Tyler's like, I just thought that you guys were thinking the same way as me, but I didn't get a chance to talk to Cody. Enzo talks a big game, but he's scared. He's scared. All right. So then Tyler's like, thank God Cody won this last HOH competition. So we have another Cody HOH. So, I mean, if you just like kind of forget that the triple even happened, it's like we have 2 weeks of Cody back to back in the HOH room. And this is also his third HOH win. So he is now tied with Memphis for HOH wins this season. And yeah, Tyler's like, thank God that Cody won. And Enzo's like, yeah, yo. Why is Tyler excited about this, though? Like, what does he think is going to happen? Who does he think Cody's going to be putting up on the block? Because Tyler should be worried. But anyway, a little later, Nicole and Cody are talking in the bathroom area. And of course, Nicole is crying. So Nicole says she felt so panicky through that whole thing. I don't blame her because I'd be crapping my pants if I were her. But she's saying, I can't stand Christmas, Tyler, or Memphis. I hate them all. She keeps saying this now. Yikes. And Cody's like, that was a lot for you today. That was a lot for you. You went up on the block. You got votes against you. Ugh. So Nicole says, I just feel so guilty. I don't want to lose Danny's friendship over something so stupid. She says to Cody, you know that her and I were friends before this, right? And Cody's like, no, I didn't know that. Really? So Nicole's like, yeah, she was invited to my wedding even before all of this. Enough about the wedding. Enough about the wedding. So Cody's like, you never told me that. And Nicole's like, yeah, I didn't want you to worry. I didn't want you to think that I was closer to her than I am to you. So then Cody's like, well, I had my suspicions, and that's why I wanted her to go. He said, I couldn't have that. I couldn't have her being so close to you and possibly coming between us. So Nicole says, well, I'm just useless. Obviously, like, everyone should take me to the final two because I'm not even going to say that I deserve anything. I'm sure Nicole is already, like, putting together her final two speech. Are you kidding me? Come on. It's just, like, so convenient for her to be like, I suck at everything. Like, everyone should take me to the end. So she says she's the world's worst player. And Cody's like, I don't know. I feel like maybe you've been throwing competitions. Maybe not recently, like in the last day when you were up on the block twice. But before that, I think you were kind of throwing some comps. And Nicole's like, no, I wasn't throwing them. But she does say, like, I wasn't trying as hard as I could have. So yeah, she was throwing them. But Nicole says, I just want Christmas out of my room. She says, Christmas is evil. She freaking tried to vote me out. Were you evil when you voted out Ian, your best friend? All right. So Nicole says, Tyler apologized to her about the vote. And I believe this was the conversation that we saw on the show, like after he won HOH, and it was like his pre-nominations talk with Nicole. So he apologized and said that he thought that the house flipped, and she had to play along since he won HOH, but she is not cool with him. Okay, so Cody's like, it's fine. Don't worry. I'm putting up Tyler and Christmas on the block. Woo! I mean, at least something exciting is happening now, right? Like, at least we're getting some entertainment here, watching this group, like, all eat each other. So Nicole says that she feels bad that Cody went for that HOH when he didn't really need it. And it's true, like, nobody, like, still, nobody's talking about going after Cody. It's insane. So yeah, he did not need to win this one, but he did. And he says, I did this for you so that you could have a little peace of mind. Sure, that's why he did it. Oh, my boyfriend's here. Thanks, babe. You're the best. Okay. So then Tyler walks in when they're talking, and the feed's cut when Nicole starts talking about her medication. Cool. Okay. So then it was show and tell time. Memphis and Tyler show everybody their HOH baskets. I like that even though when they have like a double or a triple eviction, they still give the HOHs their baskets. So that's cool. So they got photos, their goodies, treats. They both got a bottle of wine. Tyler was pretty excited because his wine was the Snoop Dogg wine. They got letters from home. So Memphis's letter was from his mom. And I believe she works at a school. And Tyler's letter was from his nieces, his young nieces, which was cute. So from both letters, they got the sense that schools are opening again. So they're really excited to hear that because they feel like that means things are improving on the outside, like with Corona. Unfortunately, that's not really the case. So yeah, but anyway, that's what they got out of those letters. But they were nice letters. Okay, so then after, Nicole and Cody were in the photo bedroom, and he was like, "Oh, do you want me to be in here? Like, do you want alone time? Like, what's going on?" And Nicole says, "I'm okay. Like, I don't need a babysitter. Keep that in your back pocket for later." Okay. So then Nicole asks Cody, "Do you think if Memphis were to win the power veto, that he would use it on Tyler or Christmas?" Because think about it, if Memphis uses the veto on one of them, Cody would have to put up Enzo or Nicole. That's going to show some major cards. So Cody's like, yeah, I'm nervous about that too. That's why it's super important that one of us wins the power veto. Like me, you, or Enzo. One of us has to win. Got some bills to pay tomorrow, it looks like. So Nicole says, I don't get how Memphis is so good at competitions. And Cody agrees. He's incredible. Honestly, I am impressed too. Like, I did not think that Memphis was going to come in here and win all of these competitions that he's been winning. I was not expecting that at all. So it's pretty impressive. But Cody says he really wants Christmas out this week, but he knows that Memphis is going to want Tyler out. So they're going to have to BS him and like act for now like Tyler is going to be the target. So yeah, Cody says if we win power veto, we'll control the votes. There's only going to be 3 people voting. Yeah, 3 people voting. So if Nicole and Enzo are the 2 off the block or are both off the block, they'll control the vote, and then Memphis is like the other one. But if the power veto is used, they're not going to control the vote anymore. Or at least if Memphis is the one that uses the veto, because then Nicole or Enzo would have to go up on the block. So he's like, we really, really need to win this POV. So he's telling Nicole, get it together for this power veto competition. Just erase from your mind all of the other losses from this season. Just focus on this competition. Okay, so then Cody's like, you know what, Nicole? I want to apologize to you because I had zero desire to win the power of veto when you and Danny were up on the block together. That would have put him in a very tricky position. He did not want to deal with that. And he says, I wanted the nominations to stay the same and for Danny to go. And Nicole's like, that's fine. I understand. I get it. Like, it's okay. And obviously she's okay with it, knowing that she survived. I don't think she'd feel that way if she was the one to go. But they agree. They want Christmas out this week, and then Memphis or Tyler next week. And they're thinking more Tyler. So then Nicole is going on and on about how she can't stand Christmas or Tyler. She was saying this a lot last night and today. But she also said Tyler is so boring and he makes her want to vomit. Damn, she's been holding this in. Okay, so then Cody is just emphasizing how amazing Enzo is because he had her back with the vote. Yeah, it was great. It was so much fun. Okay, so then Nicole is wondering, do you think we should try and pull Memphis into a group of 4, me, you, Memphis, and Enzo, to make sure that Memphis wouldn't use the power of veto if he wins this week? And Cody's like, I don't know that we need to do that. So then Tyler walks in on them talking again. Okay, so this is like the second time that Tyler walked in on Nicole and Cody talking last night, and I feel like Tyler is going to have a lot of questions when he goes up on the block and Nicole doesn't. You know, that's going to be messy. I don't know why these people are so resistant to the idea that Cody and Nicole are playing everyone. Cody and Nicole are playing everyone. Like, hello, wall yeller. Wall yellers galore. But not just that. Like, look at what's been happening this season. Anyway, Memphis and Enzo are in the bathroom area. And Memphis is like, all right, I don't know for sure, but I think that Cody is going to put up Christmas and Tyler this week. You think? And Enzo's like, I think so too. So they both say that they want Tyler out. So this is exactly what Cody was saying, that Memphis would want Tyler to go because Memphis has his other Wise Guys alliance, his final 3 deal with Christmas and Enzo. Not really sure what Enzo wants at this point because, you know, he just likes to tell everyone what they want to hear. So he is telling Memphis, like, yeah, I want Tyler out too. But that's not what he's saying to Cody. So they agree. They really need to gun hard for the power veto. Not to save Christmas. Like the Who's in Whoville. Not to save Christmas, but to leave the nominations the same. Like they would plan on voting Tyler out and keeping Christmas, but they're not wanting to use the veto. So Memphis is like, we need to make sure that Cody's on the same page as us and that Tyler goes this week. Nope, he's not on the same page. So then Enzo is asking Memphis, yo, would you have been upset if Nicole went instead of David? And Memphis says he wouldn't have given 2 Fs. Okay, I don't know that that's necessarily true, but that's his story. So Enzo says, yeah, people were trying to flip, but I went with you. And Memphis is like, Nicole's already won. You know, she'll be easy to vote out later. Cool. Okay, so Memphis is still hoping for a Final 4 with Enzo, Cody, and Christmas. That would set him up to be in the Final 4 with his 2 overlapping Wise Guys alliances. That's what he wants. The chances of that happening, probably pretty slim. I don't think so. So anyway, then the feeds went down for the have-not selection. There's only one have-not for the week because Kevin, the other have-not from last week, was evicted. So Enzo was the only one picking. And I think this might be the last week of have-nots, but I'm not 100% sure on that. So Enzo picked Nicole. And I believe she had said earlier, like at the end of last week, that she was cool with being picked because, you know, it's coming up on her turn or whatever, and like she's cool with it. But after she actually got picked, Nicole was kind of like freaking out a little bit, like, oh my God, I'm going to be in the room by myself. That's so scary. Let's not forget that Nicole shared that she slept in like the same bed as her mom until she was like 16 years old. So anyway, yeah, she's freaking out about that. So the house guests were all agreeing, like, we're going to take turns sleeping up in the HOH room with her so that she'll feel comfortable. That's a very sweet gesture, but also, like, is that really necessary? So then, again, like, I thought Nicole said she didn't need a babysitter. Apparently she does. So Nicole's like, no, I'll try night 1 by myself, and then if I start freaking out and I need someone, then I'll go wake someone up. Oh my God. If she woke me up in the middle of the night to go sleep in that room, I would be like, are you effing kidding me? So anyway, Cody and Enzo chatting in the have-not room. So they were like setting up one of the beds since somebody's going to be sleeping in there with Nicole. And Enzo says, Tyler is shook. And Cody's like, well, he should be because Tyler effed up by voting Nicole out. And Cody says, Tyler's going up on the block now. So Enzo says, okay, I was just talking to Memphis, and he's already saying that we got to get rid of Tyler. And I told Memphis, chill the F out, man. You did not. You did not say that to Memphis. Enzo was like, yeah, we're getting Tyler out. We got to get Tyler out. He did not tell him to chill the F out. But they agreed. They are not getting rid of Tyler. Cody asks, do you think Memphis would use the power veto on Christmas this week? Enzo says, no. Like, I talked to Memphis. He said he's gunning for this power veto and that he would not use it. He would leave the nominations the same. So then everybody else comes in and they're all dying from Enzo's farts. He's gassing out that room. Let's move on. Okay, so then Nicole was in the key bedroom with Cody, and she's annoyed now that people are offering to sleep in the have-not room with her. Isn't that what you were asking for? So she's like, I guess she's just complaining to complain and like to get pity from people. Like, oh, poor Nicole. She's got to sleep in that room by herself. So she says to Cody, I'd rather be alone up there. Thanks. Oh my God. So she's kind of annoyed that Enzo picked her to be the have-not because she feels like it might make her weak for the power veto competition. You said you'd be cool with it. So Cody says like that whole have-not making you weaker thing is in your head. Like you just need to get past that. He's trying to pump her up for this power veto competition. And Nicole's like, I feel bad because I haven't been contributing this season. And she tells Cody, if it's up to me, like I'll bring you to the final two with me to pay you back for dragging me along all season. Okay. So then Nicole, Cody, and Enzo were in the have-not room at one point, and Enzo's like, all right, you always 3 against 3. That's it. So he's talking like Cody, Nicole, and Enzo versus Tyler, Memphis, and Christmas. I mean, we kind of knew that this was going to happen, right? So Cody says, again, Tyler and Christmas are going up on the block. And he's saying, we got to win the veto, keep the nominations the same, and send Christmas out. And then Tyler goes next week. So Enzo's letting Nicole know, like, hey, Tyler and Christmas, like, they wanted you out. If you didn't know this, like, they voted for you to go. Yeah, I think she knows. But anyway, Nicole says, I know. They're dead to me. Ugh. And Enzo is talking about how Tyler came up to him before the vote and was, like, telling him we need to flip this. And Enzo says, we just found out that Tyler and Christmas are very close. Again, there was a wall yeller that said that Tyler and Christmas have a final two. I know, obviously, they can't put, like, all of their eggs in the wall yeller basket, because what if there were wall yellers that were giving them false information? You never know. But also, Danny has been saying for a while now, and in her eviction speech, that Tyler and Christmas are in a final two and super close. So anyway, Cody is saying that he wants Christmas to go, but he doesn't seem to be 100% set on that because he keeps asking over and over again, like, who should we be taking out between Christmas and Tyler? Like, what's the right choice? And I think, honestly, the veto is probably going to determine which one is going to go. Because, like, he is leaning towards Christmas, but if Christmas wins the power veto, I think Tyler's going to be the new target. I don't think it's going to be Memphis. So, yeah. Cody is saying it's going to come down to who we feel more confident that we can beat in competitions moving forward. And Cody says, you know what? That's Christmas. I feel way better. Like, I feel like I can beat her more than I could beat Tyler. So wouldn't that mean that they should take Tyler out? But he's still saying it should be Christmas. Okay. So then late last night, I think it was around like 1:30 a.m.-ish, Cody got his HOH room, which was blocked from feeds, as always this season. But when the feeds came back, Memphis, again, was already out of there. He gets out of there quick when these reveals are late because he's got to go to bed. That was like hours past his usual bedtime. So everybody pretty much left after like a few minutes in there because everybody was tired. It was a lot, right? They went from 9 to 6 people It's a huge change. So Christmas was like, all right, I'm off to bed in the have-not room. Of all people, Christmas is the first one to be sharing the have-not room with Nicole. I'm sure Nicole loved that. Oh my God. So then Enzo ends up going back to the HOH room to talk to Cody, and they talk more about how Christmas has to be the one to go this week. And Cody's trying to figure out, like, what am I going to say to Tyler? Because I think Tyler's going to be a little bit surprised to be going up on the block during a Cody HOH. They're supposed to be boys. They got their triple threat alliance. There's still other people that could be going up instead of Tyler, like Nicole, Memphis. So that's going to be a shocker. But Cody is saying he's going to tell Tyler he has to put him up because of those votes against Nicole. It's going to look weird if he doesn't put him up. But he is going to assure Tyler, you are not the target. Christmas is the target. Okay, so then today, Christmas and Memphis were the first two ones, like, up and about. And Christmas was very emotional this morning. Memphis was, like, holding her in his arms in a very long hug while she cried in his arms. I think it was mostly because she misses her son and, like, his birthday is this week. But I think there was also part of it was just she's realizing, like, she's in trouble this week, I think. I think that was part of it. But yeah, she was very, very upset. So Memphis was comforting her, and that's that. Okay, then a little while later, Nicole was talking to the cameras in the have-not room, and Nicole apologizes to Danny's husband, Dom. She says, I thought that Danny was talking about me behind my back, like about the Sly Five and a final 2 deal with Cody. And she says, I made a huge mistake. Okay, Job. She says, I cannot stand Christmas. I'm over this. She says, she said, like, I want you to know, I didn't really tell Christmas any information that she didn't already know. Which, I mean, there were other people telling Christmas that Danny was after her, but Nicole was really throwing Danny under the bus. Not just to Christmas, but to a bunch of different people. So she says, all I did was set myself up to be next to Danny during a double. Like, that's it. Spending a lot more time with Enzo. So then Nicole checks the have-not door to make sure that nobody else is listening. And she says to the cameras, trust no one except Cody and Enzo. You can trust them. So then Nicole's like, I just want to vent and be dramatic. Like, this is something that she doesn't do all the time. I mean, she doesn't vent all the time, but she's definitely dramatic. So Nicole says, Ian going home was a pivotal moment in this game. And I would agree with that. That was huge. She says, I freaking knew in my gut that keeping Tyler was such a bad idea. Would she have gone against Cody, though? Because, like, obviously she wanted to keep Ian around. But if Danny was like, okay, let's do it, would she actually have gone along with it without Cody's approval? I don't know. I have my doubts. She says about Tyler, when you look into his eyes, there's nothing there. They're empty, and that's scary in this game. Damn, she's talking about him having, like, empty eyes now. Like, that's some sick shit. So then she says about Tyler, he lies to your face. He's the biggest liar I've ever seen. I'm just saying, Nicole does her fair share of lying in this game as well. But anyway, Nicole and Cody were in the storage room at one point, and Nicole says she's putting on a fake face, but she hates these people so much right now. She can't even look at them. So Cody asks, what was it like with Christmas in the have-not room last night? Was she, like, trying to talk to you? And Nicole says, Christmas started crying last night, and she cried herself to sleep. And I think it's because she feels so guilty about, like, trying to vote me out. Oh my God, it's not all about you. So then she says, I hope it eats away at her. And Cody's like, whoa, take it easy. Like, that's a bit much. Like, let's back this up a little bit. That's a lot. Okay. So then Tyler and Enzo check in the photo bedroom, and Tyler is starting to freak out. So Tyler's like, is Cody going to put me up? And Enzo says, I don't know. Yeah, you do. He says, Cody, I talked to him. Cody did not like the whole vote out Nicole thing. He wasn't cool with that. And Enzo's like, I get it. Like, Nicole's a champion. I get it. I get why you would do that. So Tyler's like, well, it makes it look like I was trying to go against you guys and I wasn't. And I'm pretty sure like Tyler thought that Enzo at least would be on board for this and also vote Nicole out, and then they wouldn't be having this conversation. But like, okay, so then Enzo is telling Tyler, you really need to come up with a good story for when you talk to Cody. I need you in this game, bro. And again, I feel like he's just saying this to Tyler because, like, they didn't play the power veto competition yet. So if Tyler wins and stays, Enzo doesn't want to be on his bad side, right? It's hard to tell, though, like, what Enzo actually wants to happen because he tells everybody what they want to hear. Okay, so then Cody was doing his one-on-one chats in the HOH room, and Memphis was up first, and he was like, I want Tyler out. Like, we know that. He's afraid of Tyler in competitions. He does not want Tyler in his final four. He wants him out of here. So there wasn't anything like really that interesting here, except Memphis thinks that Christmas was the leader of the failed flip vote, which I just want to call the flop vote. I think that's easier, the flop vote. He is putting that on Christmas, which is interesting. We don't really know what was said because that all happened so quickly during the triple eviction and we didn't get to see like all the conversations. So we don't know where it actually originated from and what was discussed there. But anyway, it was Tyler's turn next to talk to Cody. And Tyler's like, well, I effed up. I effed up with that vote. I've been sweating it ever since. And Cody's like, you know what? I know where you're at in this game. But to others, that whole vote thing had a certain look. So I'm paraphrasing here because Cody did another one of his like conversations where he was like, now I'm saying like a lot. He was like, I know that like, like he just starts sentences and just keeps saying like, or like it's exhausting. So paraphrasing, Cody says that whole situation makes it easy to put you up on the block, but you're not in danger. He's basically saying, I feel like I have to keep up appearances and put you on the block, but you're not my target. And he says, I think it was a lot of her, meaning he thinks that Christmas was possibly responsible for that. And he kept saying that Christmas was the catalyst because that's what Memphis said. So he just kept saying the word catalyst like over and over and over again. He learned a new word. Okay, so then Cody's like, I could be wrong, but Tyler, I love you. You're my boy. And Cody says, in his opinion, Christmas is the second Danny in this house. Oh, okay. So then Cody again is saying, I don't feel any type of way about you, Tyler. And Tyler says, I feel like if I'm up on the block, I'm going to be gone. And Cody says, no. I've already talked about this with Nicole. That should be a red flag. He said, I already talked about this with Nicole and she is on board to vote Christmas out this week. Tyler's skeptical. He's like, I really don't feel like Nicole's going to vote to keep me. I'm not feeling that. And Cody's like, you have to trust me, bro. I love you. This doesn't change anything. So then Tyler's like, okay, well, what would happen if Christmas wins the power veto? And Cody says, it doesn't matter. Like, someone will go up. Don't worry, bro. That's super sketchy. And I'm pretty sure that if Christmas won the power veto, Memphis would go up on the block as replacement, but Tyler would be the new target because they want to split up Christmas and Tyler no matter what. All right. But again, Tyler is really nervous that Nicole is going to vote him out. So he's like, shit, if I'm going up on the block, I got to win this veto. Okay. So then Nicole talks to Cody and it's more about how she can't stand Christmas. Again, nothing really new here. She wants Christmas to go. Then it was Christmas's turn with Cody in the HOH room. And Christmas says, woo! Yesterday was a shit show. she tells Cody, I want to explain what happened here with the Nicole vote. So she's telling Cody all about the deal that she had with Nicole, that they would use the veto on each other if either of them were up on the block. Now we saw that Nicole was up on the block and Christmas won the veto and didn't use it on her. So she says, Memphis did not want me to use it. He was targeting David and he did not want the nominations to change. So I talked to Nicole about it and she said she was cool with that. She was fine with it. So that's why I didn't use the veto. And then she says, before the vote, Tyler came to me and told me that the vote was flipping and my head was just spinning. I didn't know what was going on. So then I went to Enzo when he was in like the bathroom area and I like asked him what was going on. And he basically said like, let's go, or like, that's it. And she took that to mean like, we're doing this. We're voting Nicole out. So she says, you know, when we were waiting for the vote, we were all sitting on the couches. I was sitting on the couch waiting for people to blink at me, but no one was looking at me. And then I was the first one to go in there. Tyler was the second one to go in there. So we didn't know what was going on. Just the thought of like Christmas freaking sitting on the couch and like waiting for blinks from people, it just sends me. I don't know. So anyway, Christmas says, I don't know if Tyler got it from Danny or like Tyler pulled this out himself, but she says Danny might have been trying to sabotage us. Oh my God. She's really trying to blame this on Danny right now. She is trying to blame Danny for trying to take out Nicole, or if not to take out Nicole, then at least to set up set up Christmas and Tyler. Too much. It's too much. We don't know what the full story is yet because we didn't see it all unfold, but like, that feels like a lot. And then I don't see it. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. Oh my God. Julia Mello, you're amazing. Thank you so much for the generosity. You're incredible. All of my super chatters, you guys are awesome. I'm going to thank you all at the end like I usually do, but when I see something like that, I gotta say thank you right away because you're, wow, incredible. Okay, so then, yeah, Christmas says she feels like somebody was trying to dupe her. So Tyler's like, Cody says, I think Tyler might have been the one that wanted to do it. I don't think it was Danny. So now Cody, it's hard to say in this moment if he actually believes that Tyler was responsible for this vote flop or if he's just saying this because he wants Christmas and Tyler to continue to throw each other under the bus. Because we already saw that Tyler threw Christmas under the bus and now she's doing the same to him. So Christmas says, I feel like I was duped by Tyler and I now look like I'm a part of something bigger that I'm not actually a part of. She says she's frustrated because now there's this wedge between her and Nicole. And honestly, like, I don't think Christmas is innocent here. I don't think Tyler's innocent either. I think they were both like, we got to get Nicole. She's up on the block right now. Like, let's take her out. Especially when they heard that it was a triple. They were like, hell yeah, let's get her out of here. So Cody's like, okay, thank you for your candor. He didn't say that, but he's like, thank you. I'm gonna go with my gut here and like try and figure this out or whatever. Who cares? Okay, so then Cody talks to Enzo after. And Cody says, you know what? After talking to Christmas and Tyler, I'm now feeling like Tyler was the one responsible for this vote flop. I think that he was the one pushing for this. I think so too. I think this is like right up Tyler's alley. Yeah, alley. I'm not saying that Christmas wasn't into it because I think she was totally on board for it, but I think that Tyler was probably the one pushing for it. So yeah, even thinking that, Cody is still planning on taking out Christmas this week. I feel like Tyler's the better move here, but he's just set on getting out Christmas at this point. So we're going to pick it up here tomorrow. They should be having the nominations later. It should be Christmas and Tyler going up on the block. But if you guys want to check back later, I will post the nominees in the info for the spoiler. honestly, like, it's exciting now, like, that they're all going after each other. I thought it was going to kind of, like, crap out, but at least we're getting, like, some excitement, right? It's fun to watch them scramble after being comfortable for, like, 2 months. Hi! Oh, you good boy.
Oh,
Hello. All right. So, I want to thank all of our super chatters because you guys are amazing. Yay. So, Bo, you're so cute. So we have Jody Cortez. Thank you so much. Dawn MH302. Thank you so much. FL Nana. I'm assuming it's Florida Nana. Are you a Floridian? Thank you so much.
You had a Florida Nana.
Yeah, I did.
Florida Yaya.
Yeah. Sean. Thanks so much, babe. You're amazing. You're too good to me. Adley Bruges, thank you so much. Darby C, thank you so much. Journeys for You by Kathy, thank you so much. Jessica Noe, thank you so much. And Julia Mello, you're incredible. Thank you so much. You guys are all incredible.
Rock
And
stars.
yes, Emery COJ, thank you so much. I hope you guys all have a wonderful weekend. Should be exciting with this Power Veto competition. This POV is going to determine a lot.
Mhm.
Cards can be shown. Like, it's going to be a good time.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
They're going to start to eat each other.
Yeah. So we love that. We're hungry. So I'll see you guys all tomorrow.
That's a mukbang I want to see.
Right? I'll see you guys all tomorrow. Thank you for being here. And until next time, much love.
Hi, handsome.
Okay.